Hi, I'm Shanine.
Hi, I'm Paddy.
And I'm Gareth, and this is Quiz Chat. And with us today is John Stitcher of the Online Quiz League. Hi, John.
Hello, everyone.
In the last month, Jay Flynn, who founded Jay's Virtual Pub Quiz, got awarded an MBE for his services to charity. He, when lockdown happened, he set up an online pub quiz to replace the one he had been running, got his settings wrong, found that the whole world was aware of his existence. And before he knew it, he had hundreds of thousands of people online, which is, before too long, there is going to be one of these whimsical English movies, with Bill Nighy and a few other people, gentle comedy thing about it. But
Thomas plays his mum. Yeah, absolutely.
but one of the wonderful things about this is, when you get that sort of opportunity, it's what you do with it. And obviously, people have to make a living, but it's now pushing towards £1 million for charity. I think it's about £850,000. And, he didn't have to do that, and he has, and I think he's been recognised quite rightly. So I think that's really good, and I think congratulations to Jay. But it did make me think, who else in the quiz world should be honoured? Now, whether we're serious about this or not serious about this, I want to hear what you have to say. Paddy, have you got a nomination?
Yes, well, I've got two, actually. The first person that I would like to, dedicate a quiz night to is my occasional teammate Ian Clark from the Quiz League of London. We've been on the same team in the President's Cup tournament for a long time, and he's one of my people that I always love to get on the Summer League. Like if I'm Scorsese, then he's kind of like my De Niro, essentially. But he has a great skill of writing quiz parody in the style of various poets. And it's he writes the last 2 years running. He's written two sort of summations of the season with each week of the Quiz League in the style of Tennyson or Emily Dickinson or Yeats or something like that. And it's just the loveliest punctuation mark on a given season. And actually, I've got a framed one of his. He wrote a letter in the style of Browning to me, a poem whenever I left London to come up to Glasgow. So it's there's more to quiz than just the questions and the answers, And so he's a great friend and a lovely man and a very talented man. So I would for services to poetry parody, I would give one to Ian Clark. Yeah, my second one is genuinely, I think Paul Sinha does such a tremendous amount of work for quiz. I mean, you talk about an ambassador for what we do and what we hope to do. He is the man. He's got an awful lot going on in his, sort of in his quiz life or not. But he is, literally and metaphorically, he is an absolute champion. Both in terms of getting his own questions right and championing a lot of us. And he's, responsible for a lot of people that are in quizzes because of what he does. And I think he's just a wonderful ambassador for what we do.
We had another nomination for Paul, actually. I put something on Twitter and Facebook about it, just saying, what do people think? And Mark Laycock suggested Paul. And I think there's two angles. One is, he's using his profile to raise awareness of Parkinson's, which is obviously very close to him, but, he is using that platform, which has been great. But equally, he's been organising an awful lot of online quizzing, which has been keeping people sane. And he's been writing phenomenal amounts of questions, devoting time to it. And I think, a lot of people have recognised he's been trying to invent new formats, come up with fiendishly difficult lateral thinking questions which break my brain. I think a lot of people would kind of second that nomination. Shanine, have you got anybody that you would like to put forward?
Nobody personal, but I think I find it quite interesting that when lockdown happened, quizzing was what people found comfort in, and I'd love to know the psychology behind it. So I think mine's a bit of a cop-out, but I think it's for people like me and all my friends who just did our own quizzes, and we just quizzed each other, and some of us had never written quizzes before, and mine were probably too hard, and they didn't like them, but it was still kind of a really nice way to get people together and give people a focus, really. So that's kind of what I learned in lockdown, that people actually quite not only enjoy doing quizzes, but some of them enjoy writing quizzes as well.
If
So
we were
that's nice
thinking
to-
about the Times Man of the Year, Person of the Year, cover,
Yeah, exactly. It's the mirror.
It would be the unknown quizzer or something like that. You know, it'd be like the Son of Man by Magritte, but with a big question mark instead of an apple or something like that.
Everyone who's written a slightly dodgy quiz that someone has then pointed out isn't quite right, they deserve the award.
We've all done that. John, springing this on you, have you got a nomination?
Well, kind of moving on from what Shanine said, is one thing the people who I feel get the least recognition but do the most work in quiz are the setters. They put an awful lot of work in, and it's a thankless task. You can write a great quiz, but if you've got one factual error in that quiz, that's all that anybody's going to pick up on. So I would feel like the quiz setters are kind of like when you get the MBE list, they're the teachers, they're the nurses who nobody's heard of, fair enough, but they do a great job. And one person who's part of the OQL team who sets for a lot of quiz leagues and is just an all-round great guy would be Rob Hanna. He sets for quizzing, he sets for wiki quiz regularly, and his questions are always well thought out, they're interesting, and he's also there to help other people with setting as well if they need. And he does a phenomenal job writing questions all the time, and I think he would be somebody who I would recommend for a quizzing MBE if there was one for services to quizzing. At the other end, I think with sports, you always recognise the top players. They get their MBEs for their work. So you get Phil Taylor in darts, you get Rory McIlroy in golf, top snooker players. They all get one. So I think you'd be looking at Kevin or Pat, Pat Gibson, Kevin Ashman. They're great ambassadors for the quizzing as well, and everybody knows who they are, and they are tireless and fantastic in their work, and both incredibly humble as well, which is nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my nominations, thanks, you just nicked, was Kevin. But in any other sport, it is a sport, Valerie. In any other sport, somebody who won 6 world titles, 6 European titles, and 6 British titles, plus doubles titles, plus being in the national side winning European titles, they'd probably get a knighthood, not just an MBE. So for me, it's a rise Kevin of Ashman or Kevin of Winchester, probably, but that makes it sound more like Robin of Sherwood. The other person I'd throw in was Steve Dodding wanted it to be known he's fully supportive of Marcus Rashford's school meals campaign, and that he wholeheartedly backs that and wants his MBE. So we'll throw Steve Dodding in because he does a lot of work for charity and rarely ever talks about it. So good on you, Steve.
Thanks for watching this video on all things quiz. If you enjoyed it, please click the like button. And if you really enjoyed it and want to see more like this, then click subscribe. And to the left, you can see some other videos you might enjoy.